Oh, so another discussion here. Really lovely to have Jackie with us today. So, Jackie, one of the founding partners and directors of Where Workspace Works. Did I get that right? I did, didn't I? Where Workplace.
Workplace works.
Yeah,
Workplace.
Workplace Works. And obviously, off the back of what Boris Johnson announced yesterday, we're still no clearer, really, are we? Go to
No.
work, but don't go to work. If you have to go out, but don't go out. So, I mean, I'm fine. I'm just working here at home. I can see you're in your lovely, lovely cottage as well. But what are your clients asking, and what kind of guidance are you giving them?
Okay, so good morning. Hello, Vic. Thanks for inviting us along to this. I'm really thrilled to be involved. Um, there's been an awful lot of thought leadership out on social media. Some good, not some quite so good. But we've been very, very busy, and people just asking us about what does the landscape of the new office look like? How are we going to go back to work? How are we going to look after the welfare of our staff? And also still operate, because we can't carry on not trading as companies for much longer, or the country would be bankrupt. So we've been helping people look at how they work. Lots of people have been forced to homework where, previously they felt they couldn't do that. And actually, it's been a real eye-opener. Lots of companies, we did a project pre-COVID where a client was looking to go to an agile model, and really felt that they couldn't, because they were quite hierarchy-led. They were quite cellular in their office environment, and it was a status symbol to get an office and reach the top and all of that. So, and we've since had a virtual meeting with them to talk about the results of the study, and they have changed their minds completely. They're looking to go work from home predominantly. They're looking at a lot smaller space for the future, and that's going to be a collaboration space rather than one cellular offices. Don't need them anymore. And also it's going to be a place where they come together as a group, and they brainstorm and they collaborate. It's not, the work itself will be done at home.
Right.
What we believe is going to happen is actually, where most companies allow their staff to work 1 to 2 days a week at home, we think that's going to actually flip. And we're going to see people coming into the office maybe 1 to 2 days, but actually at home working 3 days a week. And through all of these lovely communication tools, why couldn't you possibly do that? I mean, obviously every company is different. If you're producing widgets, you can't do that. But if you're providing services, there are a lot of companies now in the UK that are service driven, then there's no reason why you can't operate this way.
No, I think the demand on real estate is going to take a hit.
Yeah.
And that's not just London, that's everywhere. And maybe flexible office space will be more of a thing to go. But what about actually getting to the office, though? Because you can change and put measures in place in the workspace, like they've done in the supermarkets, one-way traffic and all that kind of stuff. And you can socially distance, I guess, if not as many people are in the office. But we've got to get to the office.
Yeah.
Boris talked about getting on a bike, but, I live 50 miles from London. I'm not cycling in.
Exactly. No, and that to us, we identified early on the biggest threat here was actually the physical journey into work, because it's a non-controlled environment. It's out of your control when 50, hundreds of people are in a train carriage with you. So you need to think about alternative routes to work. One client we're working with has the luxury of having car parking, so they're looking at car share opportunities. They're looking at providing buses from areas so they can collect staff where they have staff geographically in certain locations, and because they can control the environment of the minibus or the car and know that the hygiene level is the correct level, rather than leaving it to somebody else to do. So that's the concern.
So, I mean, I guess it's just not as simple as, right, yes, back to work you go, shut your laptop and off you go. It's not that simple, is it? It's going to be a journey getting back into the workplace.
We're very much focused on people rather than space. So a lot of companies are currently looking at space, and they're looking at social distancing within the office, and they're putting 2 metre diameters around desks and no-go zones and all of that. And obviously there are areas in the office you really need to give consideration to, like the toilets, the tea points, the zip tap even, you know, and all of those sorts of things where people go to lots of times during the day, the buttons on the lift, all of those things need consideration. But for us, we're very much focusing on people and looking at, one, how they're feeling. They've all kind of been pushed out and into the home working environment. Some of them are trying to do homeschooling, some of them are dealing with childcare and elderly care, you know, responsibilities, as well as trying to do the work. But also, you know, we're looking at, how are they feeling? Are they still engaged? Do they still feel part of something? Has their management team kept them informed, up to date? Some of the companies we've worked with, we know, for instance, one client we do a lot of work with, they've had a pub quiz once a week. They have about 110 people working from them. They're all on this Zoom pub quiz. It must be chaos, but it sounds absolutely fabulous. And so they're still really engaged. They're getting to see their colleagues and their peers. So it's really important that you still feel part of the bigger picture. So we've devised a returning to work e-survey, which is really focused on people's feelings about coming back and concerns. And there's a high level of anxiety about just the physical going back out there, especially to places where there's lots of people. So, you know, we're trying to focus on that, understand how extreme that is, and then deal with it.
Yeah.
So every organisation is different, because everybody has different, I guess, yeah, I mean, like, so if you're in central London, there's no way you're going to have car park space. And, you know, even getting a minibus there is going to be difficult. So we need to look at how that could work.
Yeah.
Can they remote work? Do they have outside of London hubs or offices? Could they take on a temporary space, maybe through the likes of a co-working space operator? You know, so we're looking at alternative ways of working that are going to support them through this whole COVID-19 thing.
Oh, it's fascinating. I could talk to you for hours. In fact, I will. When I've stopped this, I'll carry on chatting, because it's interesting. It's about the people as well as the physical space.
Yes.
So
yeah, and you just think about it, Vic. If this had happened during the winter months, how would we all be feeling right now? We've been blessed in as much as this has happened during the spring. We're leading into summer. We've got light nights, glorious blue skies. If this had been the winter and it was raining, cold, and even snow, we'd all be feeling pretty flat, I have to say.
yeah.
So it would have been twice as bad. So we really need to get it sorted before the autumn and winter months starts coming into place.
They do. Okay, I'm going to carry on chatting, but I'm going to stop this so I can then get it posted out as well.
Okay.
Lovely to see you.
Lovely speaking to you.
Okay.